Hello and welcome back to our bonus episode for those made to build a luxury mindset. We are joined again with our guest, Leda Di Marti, CEO of Maelle, where we are answering the wildcard question that we proposed in our main episode. So please make sure you go back and have a listen. So let's dive right in, Leda. Despite economic downturns, recessions, global pandemics, the luxury industry has always persevered, and some luxury brands even made record profits during some of the harshest times. What do you foresee as the biggest challenges and opportunities for luxury brands in the coming years?
Wow,
it's a big question.
A big question.
Yes.
What I'm going to say, it will probably go on for the next 5 years. That will be the biggest challenge that I see, is that the brands must learn how to be relevant to their audience. Mm-hmm. And not only related to the products or trendy on the trends forecasting, etc. I think they should be relevant on the point of view of taking parts. So it would be required to fashion brands, because as we say, there is a lot of exposure and they bring a lot of messages, to take decisions and to state where they stand for. So why and who they cheer and who they doesn't cheer. So that will be request to be very clear in their statement, and it will be always more and more important for them. And clients will decide to keep buying from them or boycott them based on these decisions.
Absolutely.
So I think staying relevant and be perceived as the good ones will always be the challenge at this point.
I think it goes back to protest and your spending power and how much power that actually really has. Like, I know myself, and we talked about this in our sustainability episode a little bit as well. Like, you want to see that, you know, where you're putting your money, you know, contributes to social impact in a positive way. And that translates out, like you said, across all the genres, not just kind of fashion, food as well, and all aspects of your life, because you want to be making an impact in a small way as the kind of end consumer. And I know I definitely try to do that as much as I possibly can. Is there an example that you can give us of a brand that's done it well?
Brands that have done it well, where there are different ones, I would say probably Loro Piana is the one that comes to my mind. Last year, they came out with a very big campaign related to, of course, petroleum and, you know, products coming from plastic and from oil. And it was a very impactful campaign. I suggest you to, and also to the ones tuning in to just watch it, because these models were coming out from this black, and then they were just opening their arms and they were just wearing like Loro Piana garments that
was this on the runway?
No, this was like a campaign, like a video.
Okay, yeah.
It was a big one because they were showcasing that you don't have to choose that. You can choose something else, and you can choose products that come from nature, but also they don't harm nature, because of course they comes from sheep and even the merino, so the best quality ones that are treated very well, probably better than me and you. And those animals, of course, they're treated well, they are treated in a certain way, grown up this way. So they were trying to tell them, you can choose us, choose products.
You can have both. You can have luxury and sustainability.
Definitely.
Merged. And quality, right?
And quality. So the main purpose of this campaign was, you can choose to buy something expensive, but they will last you for 7 years, or you can choose something that will just last you for the next season, and they will be not trendy anymore. So you have the choice. It's up to you how you want to spend your money, because at the end you're going to spend the same money with something that maybe you can resonate to, gives also a message. And Loro Piana does a lot of charity as well. So they really spend those money for people, because even these animals, they live in South America. So they reinvest this money also. They pay for their local manufacturing, craftsmanship. So they do something back to the population that are producing them and taking care of the environment of the animals as well. So that's something nice.
And when we think of luxury and we think of sustainability, what are your thoughts on the integration of, say, more vegan products and things like that? Do you think it impacts the quality, or do you think that it kind of is an innovation in a good way?
So on vegan products, I always think, first of all, on leather. That's what really comes to my mind all the time. I think leather has a problem that innovation is not fast enough. So when it comes to bags or any other goods, I think fake leather, which is produced from, I would say, vegetables. We saw banana. We saw so many vegetable and fruits where this can come from. I believe in that, even cactus. So I believe that can happen. When it comes to shoes, animal leather still doesn't have a good competitor, still doesn't have something to go for, unfortunately. Still, the machines are not innovative enough. Still, nothing can really make your feet breathe as much as the real leather, because it's animal, of course, it's skin, so that makes you breathe the most. So still nothing has come. I hope something will come out, because I think the only part that we can completely skip is fur. Like, we can delay the fur, the real one and the fake one. The fake one is even more harmful than the real one, because it's produced by oil, of course, so it's even more creating more pollution and stuff. But the real one is very badly produced. The animals suffer so much, there is so much going into it, so there's a very cruelty industry that I think we can really get rid of.
Put to rest, yes.
Yeah, we can get rid of that. But leather for shoes, goods, for that is really something that haven't been clicking yet.
Yeah.
They haven't found. So I hope the research will go into that.
I do have to agree with you. I do buy leather shoes, and I feel extremely guilty all the time. Every time I buy a new pair, I feel really, really bad. But I do have to agree that there is no viable alternative. Now, one reason why I'm actually feeling lucky and happy to live here in Dubai is that it doesn't rain almost at all. So that you can't really justify leather shoes from that perspective. I think back in Europe, you know, in winter season, and especially in the UK where I lived for a long time, you need good shoes that are breathable but also waterproof, so that they can, you know, so you don't get soaked. So I'm with you absolutely 100%. Once we get a good innovation in that space, I'll be jumping on it.
Could we just circle back a little bit more to this idea of, during economic downturns, how brands make record profits during these times? Why do you foresee that is? Is there intel that you can share with us as to what aids this?
So the reason why luxury industry does never fail, not even the hardest time, is because the audience, it's so depending on it that not even that will stop them to buy. So what I would say is that who buys luxury usually, so we're talking about the usual target, not somebody who buys it sometimes, who buys it regularly. It only buys luxury, which is a big chunk of population in the world. We have millionaires and billionaires, so they exist. And they are that kind of loyal consumer. First of all, they're not that impacted by those situations. So recession, global pandemics, as you said, they don't really get affected by those. I was actually listening today to an interview of one of the Bain partners in China, and they were asking her, why China has been going into these recession moments. And she said, well, actually the high spenders didn't go through anything. They were still at the same level. They were buying the same. They were acting the same. They were still using private jets, etc. So they were not really, I would say, limited by all the situation, because they live on another parallel world, I suppose, and they don't really see what's happening for the rest of the people.
Untouched.
Yeah, so she said maybe just the middle class was very affected by those.
Yeah.
So that are the ones that they need to work to actually, and actively work and actually travel the proper way to actually make their own living. So that category will never be affected by anything, I think. Not even by wars, not even by social shift, not even by very hard situation. They will still be on another, what I think is because those people are usually also old at this point, or they are son or daughters of older people that are wealthy people, right? So those are still people that care about the quality. So whatever controversial brands go through, they don't really care. They will still buy from them because they're used to that. They only know that. You know what? Actually, the legacy,
yeah.
And it will take more time for them to find another brand that they care about as much of. No, they care how much. They have the same values. That they like the same quality. They don't want to do this, which younger generation are very easy to do. They don't have this flexibility. They don't want to go to shops and find and try. They like the style. They like the fitting, and they're happy with that. So that kind of change, that kind of switch, they don't want to do it. It's too much hassle for them. They prefer to stay on the same page. They like what they have, and they just stay comfortable in that situation. That's what we saw. Youngers don't really care about that anymore.
And to chip in with another example, which I found really, really interesting, is that even the middle class that you're referring to, in times of hardship, they can also boost sales in terms of luxury products, because the year before, when everything was stable, let's say the average woman would buy 3 bags and they would all be, high end, let's say. But then in times of downturn, they could only afford 1 bag. So then they would put all the money together and then they would say, okay, I'm going to buy a bag. Like you said, a bag that's going to last me 7 to 10 years or my entire lifetime. So then they would go to the luxury brand and they would get a Burberry bag or a Louis Vuitton or whatever.
It's an investment at the end.
It is an investment, exactly, because you do have less money, but altogether the value of 3 bags will converge into one, and that will be one really good luxury high-end bag that you're going to buy. So it's almost, it almost works the other way around. Like, it doesn't go in the logical sense of you have less money, you buy cheaper products. It can actually defy that.
That's just an excuse.
That's or it really be just an excuse.
Just an excuse.
Or you just really want the bag.
It's just an excuse. Like, I think the trendiness of garments is just a trap. Like, we insiders know it. You need to come out with new things, so clients are looking forward to that. But I tell you where it comes the moment of awareness of this trick. So when you know, like, I'm very aware that creativity will never stop. So we cannot, because of the environment, climate change, anything that comes with it, we cannot stop to be creative, because we are, as human, we are made to make the difference. We are made to be creative, to do something new. That's our nature. We cannot stop it. So how do we keep being creative, keep producing? That's what our creativity is supposed to do, produce in arts, in fashion, in any goods, even luxury goods, watches, etc. How do we do that? And how do we keep ourselves, accountable for the environment, crisis, etc.? What I think is that it will come the moment that we will be forced to make the circularity the normality. Like, the new normal way to produce will be circularity. So you will create, but you need a way to come back and delete this product from the market and reduce it, and maybe use it so much that you automatically destroy itself. We need to find a way that this has to be the solution, because we cannot stop the productivity, we cannot stop the trends, because that's what we live for. And it has always been like this. Human nature will not change.
I think that's a fantastic place to close the conversation, and I think it's going to give a lot of people food for thought, and hopefully maybe someone will feel inspired to come up with the solution for this.
I hope so.
Potentially.
Please think of it.
So thank you for your time today. Before we wrap up, is there anything you would like to mention to our listeners that you haven't covered already, maybe regarding Maelle or any other projects you're working on at the moment?
So I think the most exciting part of my work is always to be surrounded by young minds, because our team is quite young. We have older, of course, senior people, but the most active are the youngest one. What I like is that we really create a group of innovation, I think, inside, also because we invest in startups now, mostly in fashion, like solution for fashion, but still in the same environment. And what excites me for this new year, that we opening other 2 heading of departments. So we're opening cosmetics and beauty and jewelry. So those new challenges are really important for us. And I'm looking forward to find, the new, of course, we have already some expert in those, but I'm looking to connect with new ones in cosmetics and jewelry, because I think those 2 industries in Middle East can be very, very much interesting for us. And I see the potential.
Oh, yeah, incredible.
Really exciting.
We look forward
Those
to it.
Those are my
as
2
well.
favourite subjects as well. Jewellery and cosmetics. So, I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much for both of you.
No,
Bianca,
thank you, Leda. It was such a
Mandy.
pleasure to have you on, and I feel like you've left us with so much to think about and so many new insights. So really appreciate it.
Thank you both. Thank you. Ciao to everybody.
Ciao.